You won't believe this. California, a state already grappling with the massive exodus of businesses and rampant retail crime, is now considering a new bill that seems to defy all logic. Imagine this: your property is stolen, and then you get fined for it. Sounds absurd, right? Welcome to the proposed reality of California Senate Bill 753. This isn't just a minor legal tweak. It's a legislative effort that could fundamentally alter the relationship between businesses, cities, and the very concept of justice. In this deep dive, we're dissecting a new legislative effort that could allow cities to charge businesses up to a whopping $650 for every shopping cart stolen from them and retrieved by the city. That's right. Stores, the undisputed victims of theft, could face significant penalties simply for having their property stolen. It's a move that has ignited a firestorm of controversy, exposing deeper fissures in the state's approach to crime, homelessness, and economic responsibility. The bill's unbelievable premise. Punishing the victims at its core. Senate Bill 753, spearheaded by State Senator Dave Cortese, a Democrat representing San Jose, and pushed by the city itself, seeks to modernize current law. But modernize here seems to mean penalize the innocent. Let's break down the current scenario versus this proposed nightmare. Currently, the rules are relatively lenient. Cities can only charge businesses a nominal $50 fee for each shopping cart found off property, and that's only after the first 3 violations within a 6-month period. Furthermore, businesses are given a 3-business-day grace period to pick up retrieved carts. If they fail to do so, the carts are held for a generous 30 days before the city disposes of them. This existing framework acknowledges that cart retrieval is a logistical challenge and places a modest burden on businesses only after repeated issues or clear negligence. Now, enter Somebody 753, a complete game changer. This bill completely upends that system. It would authorize cities to immediately collect abandoned shopping carts. No waiting period. They could then return them directly to retailers, eliminating the 30-day hold. Sounds efficient, right? Here's the catch. For this service, cities could charge businesses an astronomical up to $500 for the service of returning each cart, and then tack on an additional $150 in fines. That's a potential $650 penalty per cart. Imagine a medium-sized grocery store losing dozens of carts a month. The cost could quickly spiral into tens of thousands of dollars, directly impacting their bottom line. It's a system where being a victim comes with a hefty price tag. Why are they doing this? San Jose's solution to homelessness and budget woes. So, what's the motivation behind such an ostensibly illogical bill? The driving force, as openly stated, is the city of San Jose. Mayor Matt Mahan, facing significant homelessness and budget crises, views this bill as a dual solution. The argument is that abandoned shopping carts contribute to urban blight, pose a nuisance, and are an environmental problem, blocking sidewalks and polluting waterways. Therefore, by penalizing businesses, the city aims to incentivize them to prevent theft and fund the cart retrieval programs. However, this solution has been met with incredulity and outrage from business owners and advocates. Daniel Conway of the California Grocers Association powerfully articulated the core issue during a California Assembly Local Government Committee hearing. Our property is being stolen and taken off-site, and his solution to solve both of those is to charge retailers more to get their stolen property back. This sentiment resonates deeply with businesses who already feel besieged by rampant retail theft, often unprosecuted, and high operating costs in California. Is charging businesses for theft a legitimate, effective, or even ethical way to solve a city's homelessness problem or plug budget deficits? Critics argue it's a desperate measure that unfairly burdens the very entities that provide jobs and services to the community. Blaming the victim, the core outrage, and broader implications. The fundamental question at the heart of this controversy is simple. Is it fair to punish businesses for being victims of crime? This is the point where the bill ignites widespread public and political outrage. Assemblywoman Rhodesia Ransom, a Democrat from Tracy, notably abstained from voting for or against the bill, which passed its committee with 0 no votes but 4 abstentions, indicating significant discomfort. She eloquently voiced this very concern, stating during the hearing, "This is not happening because of their negligence or nuisance. This is happening because people are taking the shopping carts off the property, and I do not think it is fair to allow the city to impose something without giving them the opportunity to retrieve what is stolen property." Her stance underscores the widespread feeling that this bill is a blatant example of victim blaming, transferring the consequences of criminal acts onto law-abiding businesses. This bill raises alarming questions about California's broader approach to crime, property rights, and its relationship with the private sector. Instead of focusing on stronger law enforcement against theft, or more robust social services to address homelessness, it proposes to shift the burden and cost onto already struggling retailers. What does this mean for California and its businesses? Increased operating costs. The potential for hundreds or even thousands of dollars in fines each month for stolen carts would be a significant new expense for businesses, particularly smaller ones or those in high theft areas. Higher consumer prices. To offset these new costs, businesses might be forced to raise prices, further burdening California consumers already facing a high cost of living, reduced services, or closures. For some businesses, particularly those operating on thin margins, these fines could make it untenable to continue operating in certain areas, potentially leading to reduced services, fewer jobs, or even outright store closures. A war on business perception. This bill adds to a growing perception among businesses that California's regulatory and legal environment is increasingly hostile, driving more companies to leave the state. No incentive for thieves. Critically, the bill does nothing to deter the actual theft of carts. It punishes the property owner, not the perpetrator. This fundamental flaw has many critics asking, why isn't the focus on penalizing those who steal the carts, or more effectively addressing the underlying reasons for their theft? While solutions like coin deposit carts common in Europe or magnetic wheel locks exist, they come with significant upfront costs for stores, and even these aren't foolproof. This bill, therefore, feels like a short-sighted approach that punishes the symptom rather than addressing the core problems. Conclusion: a sign of deeper problems? California Senate Bill 753 is more than just a bill about shopping carts. It's a stark symbol of deeper issues at play. It embodies a strategy that seeks to place the financial burden of societal problems, like theft and homelessness, squarely on the shoulders of businesses, who are often themselves victims. The outrage from business associations and even some lawmakers highlights the absurdity of punishing a party for being victimized. This legislative proposal forces us to ask critical questions. Is this bill fair or truly effective? What does this kind of legislation say about California's priorities regarding crime, business, and social issues? And ultimately, how should a state truly address complex problems like abandoned property, rampant theft, and the humanitarian crisis of homelessness without inadvertently penalizing its own economy? The future of Somebody 753 is uncertain as it moves through the legislative process, but its implications are already clear. Join the conversation. What are your thoughts on this bill? Is it a common-sense solution or an outrageous example of victim blaming? How do you think California should address the issue of stolen shopping carts and the larger problems of homelessness and retail crime? Share your opinions in the comments below.